What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Jency Riley, and I'm with my guy. Now, a lot of y'all might know him as the cameraman behind the goal, the guy with the camera over there, the man who just took the nice video. You ain't know him as all of that, but over here, we know him as Deezy. Deezy, what's up with you, my dog? How you doing?
Appreciate you having me, though. I'm feeling good. How you feeling, man?
I'm good, man. I know. I appreciate you for coming on. We talked not last week, but like the week before last. We
Yeah.
talked and we was talking. I was like, yeah, I gotta get you on. Well, I gotta get Kelsey on. You see
Mm-hmm.
Kelsey right there,
Shout out
and then I gotta
Kels,
come
man.
back. Shout out Kel, shout out Kel,
Shout out
and then I
Kels.
gotta get you on right after that. So I really appreciate you for coming on. I really appreciate you, man. You don't know how much it's mean to me.
For
So
sure.
shout out to you. Shout out to you.
Always,
Shout
man.
out to you for always being you, man. Shout out to you for being you.
That's real.
So we're gonna get to it, dog. So give us your work title. Like, what do you do? Like, how do you define yourself and your
Um,
art?
so my name is Deezy. That's my photography name. My real name is Mandel.
Okay.
Uh, I got Deezy, the name Deezy, by playing basketball. Through playing basketball, one day one of my trainers was like, man, Deezy. He combined these two random names, and then when I started photography, I ran with Deezy. So that was like started Deezy Photos. That's how I started on Instagram. But currently, I work for myself. I'm a freelance photographer, videographer, editor. And I just have a range of clients. I've been doing it for about 5 years now. I studied business in college at Towson University, and yeah, always improving, always learning, always growing. I love business in general. I love photography. I love paying attention to the stock market, crypto markets. And just
Man,
just improving. You know what I mean? Like taking care of your body, your mind, and everything like that.
yeah, man. You talk about stocks and crypto. That's something that I all I hear about is stocks. Man, get into stocks. Like one of my roommates actually, he's big into stocks, and I'd be like, man, watch out. But then, like when you get on social media, all you hear is stocks, crypto. To
Yeah,
me personally, it's something that I want to get into. I'm gonna get into it one day.
eventually,
But I
step by step.
eventually, one day I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna sit down. But right now,
Yeah,
we gonna
no,
see.
facts. That's fair.
So
That's
okay,
fair.
you said you hoop.
Yeah, I play basketball too. Yep, yep.
Okay,
And I can
what?
play. I'll give most people work. I'll say that. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Even
the
still to this
av-
day, for
the
sure. Yeah,
average person, you
yeah,
better
nah,
than the average person by far.
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Okay,
100%.
so okay, okay. Tell us about how you got into doing videography and photography. How did
Uh,
you come to that? Because being an athlete, right? You're the guy
mhm,
on camera. You're the guy getting the pictures. You're the guy
yeah,
getting the videos. And now to switch sides from the athlete to now the man behind the camera. Now like, you're the guy when they be like, "Yo, cameraman, you got that? Yo, you got." So
yeah.
tell us about that. How you got into doing that?
Um, so basically, my younger brother, he was playing in the fall league. Thankfully, my parents, they've always helped me. Uh, I'd seen a camera I wanted. My dad was like, "Hey, here's some money for it." It ain't the biggest camera, ain't the best camera, but it's like a good starter camera for sure. I started out taking pictures, not video. So it
Okay.
was a Nikon camera. And my younger brother Dev, he was playing in fall league. I just wanted to take pictures of him. And then over time, it transitioned to my approach was okay, if I'm shooting basketball, why not shoot the best basketball athletes? So in Maryland, that's kind of really how I started. I started about, like I said, 5 years ago, and I would go to different, just elite high school basketball games. So like I would go out to PG County, like DeMatha, St. John's,
Yeah.
even Baltimore City schools, St. Francis, City, Poly, schools like that, and just shoot the games. I would take pictures, post it on social media, connect with the players and stuff like that, and it was definitely a different experience at first. I've grown a lot because you go from being in front of the camera, the
Yeah.
actual athlete, to now. Back then, even still, like social media was around, but it's totally different. Reels weren't around, and just different things were prominent. So for me, it was just being myself, and I thought it was cool to take some pictures. I was in college, and it turned into a passion over time for sure.
Shout out, little bro. Little bro got the journey started. Shout out, little bro.
Yeah,
Well,
nah,
yeah, I hope you watch it.
for
Shout out
sure.
to little bro. So, okay, you start taking pictures of little bro. You venture out to other athletes, local big time athletes.
Mm.
So when you first started, right? I want to say who was that athlete, or what was what was the thing, picture or video, that got you to like, I could do this. Like it went real stupid, viral. You was like, man, I could I could really do
Yeah.
this for real.
I think it was for me, turning point was actually just got a Sony camera. So I swapped from Nikon to Sony. It was beginning of 2020. This was pre-pandemic, like a month before pandemic or so. I shot the Mathivers at St. John's and I shot video of the game.
Okay.
And for me, I think that was when I look back at it, that was a moment where I was like, my style started to transition. And for sure, I think that was a moment for sure.
So when you started, did you have any like anybody to look up to? Because nowadays that's like a popular thing. Like everywhere
Yeah.
you look, somebody takes pictures, somebody does edits, somebody does video. So like when you first started, was it like I'm gonna just get my camera, I'm gonna just take pictures, do videos, or was it like okay,
Super
tell us about that?
transparent. I always tell people like I see people doing great things and I take it as inspiration. So I'm never threatened by it. Jamie Boyer, uh, Eight
Jamie
Eye
Boy,
Eight Eye Media. So
8 Ivy. Okay,
yeah, based out of Philly.
he's from that area. I know you're
Yeah,
talking about. I
David.
know exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know
yeah,
exactly what you're talking
yeah.
about.
So it's cool because I actually know him now, and
Okay.
but shout out to him. Like the basketball mixtape era came out of a lot of his stuff,
Yeah.
and came out of Philly. And it was just real. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't the stuff you could maybe seen on Ball's Life or like YouTube, but it was his own unique style. And I would see him post Instagram stories that just post work on his page of like working with all these NBA players and at the games and stuff. Like I was like, oh, this
Yeah.
shit. Oh, excuse my language. I
You
was like,
good.
this
You
is
good.
crazy.
You
I was like,
good.
this is crazy. You know what I mean? Like it's cool.
Yeah.
And for me, that was definitely where I wanted to reach. And talking about pre-pandemic, um, man, I'm just going back, bro. I'm just thinking. So it was a big game. It was a tournament called East Coast Bump. My dad basically had a connection with this guy named Coach Mookie, probably one of the most influential people in my process. Also my dad as well. And he reached out to him and was like, "Hey, can you get?" He's starting with this camera stuff. You get him a media pass for the game. This is a huge tournament at the time. It was held at the time as a Royal Farms Arena, but it was like Oak Hill, IMG,
Yeah.
like all these big schools. You know what I mean, like, and you look back at it, some of those guys now are NBA players, and yeah, that was for me. That was a really cool experience. So be able to shoot guys like Jarris Walker, Jaden Springer, um,
Yeah.
you know, Brandon Murray, Justin Lewis, just
Oh yeah.
so many guys. And for me, I took the craft seriously. I just wanted to create the best content and have fun with it. That was always the intention from the start. Like from the start, I had very clear intention and goals of what I wanted to achieve. Like I knew I wanted to work with brands. I knew I wanted to work with like pro athletes and just capture stuff on my own accord. Like do business through myself. You know what I mean? Essentially.
Shout out to Jaden Springer. I actually played against Jaden Springer at
Yeah. No.
AAU. I thought I was, we thought I was going to the NBA at first. We had hoop dreams. Coach Mo, if you, I just need 10 days. You give me 10 days, Coach Mo, I can make a difference. But nah, shout out to Jay. I played against Jaden. Jaden was tough in high school.
Yeah.
I
No,
never
for
forget.
sure.
Jaden was real. He was the real deal.
He's
He
tough.
was he was much more advanced. I was like, dang. I
Yeah,
was like,
you
dang.
play against some of these guys, and you're like, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like I
nah, they
think
different.
right now, Cade Cunningham.
Yeah, okay,
I
yeah,
actually played against Cade Cunningham once. And like when he was in high school, we was like, yeah, he's cold.
he
But we didn't
different.
know he was gonna be the first overall pick.
Yeah,
Now he the best player on the Detroit Pistons.
going crazy in the league.
Potentially about to beat the Knicks, and it was like, okay, I was like, I get to say that, like, yeah, I
Hmm.
know these. I've actually been on the court with
That
you, so I could
experience,
talk,
yeah,
I could brag a little different, I
yeah.
could talk a little different. So okay, you start doing video. Did you ever do it in school, like with the school sport? You didn't
No,
do it
so
in
I
college.
never wanted to do it for school sports. I was like, these people are doing too much not to get paid. Like enough. I don't know if they're getting paid. If they get paid, they're
Yeah,
not getting paid enough. You know what I mean? Just
yeah,
transparently. You know, I respect people definitely working up the ranks and doing different things and stuff. But for me, I knew it wasn't my path. And um, when I started, and then it crossed over into 2020. And then the pandemic hit. So a lot of my growth happened through like the pandemic that summer. I was in the gym with Coach Mookie. Jarris Walker, he plays for Indiana Pacers now.
Yeah.
And we were just in the gym. Shout out my guy Chris at R1. I mean, these are people like it's crazy going back on the journey, like so influential from that starting process. Chris at R1, it was R1 was a sports facility, and basically it was summertime, it's COVID time. Pro athletes are coming back home from overseas, pro sports, whatever, and everybody's aggregated into this one spot. And I would come and record, Coach Mookie and Jarris, and then after that the other people would take over and use the court and the facilities. And then one day Chris was like, hey, like, what's your rate, you trying to record for us? It transitioned to like a really very deep relationship, very deep business relationship, and still a very deep connection I have now. And it just ended up being a really good client as well, that
Yeah.
helped me progress and have new work.
I could imagine, like you said, they ask you, yeah, what's your rate? How much? You probably like,
At that
I,
I, I mean, I'm probably going to look back and be like, why I say this, but like, you just starting, like, you don't know what to charge people. Like, you don't have the
yeah,
connections and know-how and understanding or portfolio to actually charge somebody for your work. You know what I mean? Like, you can charge somebody for your work from the start, but like for me, it was always about providing the best service. You know what I mean? Like really having a quality product that I was proud of. I think that's the
yeah,
biggest thing. And it almost turned to like a obsession almost, like tons of
yeah.
YouTube, tons of practicing, like staying up to 3, 4 a.m. constantly for months and just refining like how do I get better, So
So would you say this is a self-taught skill?
oh,
Like you had help, but like for the most part, like you said, YouTube and
yeah,
just
the skill
practicing.
itself, the skill itself, 100% self-taught, 100%. I
Okay,
definitely attribute the path of my growth and business relationships, to other people and everyone around me, network and things like that. But the skill itself, yeah, self-taught for sure.
okay. So we talking about you working with athletes, right? Steph Curry,
Yeah,
Brandon Jennings,
yeah,
James Walker,
yeah,
Jaden Springer,
yeah,
um, Zay Flowers.
yeah,
This weekend, right? We went real platinum this weekend. This
yeah,
past weekend, you got potential number one pick Cam Ward,
yeah,
Matthew Golden,
yeah,
James Bouknight.
yeah. Okay, you did your research.
Uh,
Okay.
I'm trying to see if I'm missing somebody. I feel like I'm missing somebody, but that's
Yeah,
a solid. That's a
that's a
solid. That's a
good.
solid
Yeah,
list.
yeah. I'm trying to
So,
think. Some other names. Kelsey Plum.
Kelsey Plum. That's the one I want. Kelsey Plum. Okay.
I never posted this, but I worked with Sharon Laketti about a month ago. She just
Okay.
won the Boston Marathon today. Um, and
Shout out to her.
she set a new
Shout
record for
out
the Boston Marathon. Yeah, which is a
Juan
crazy.
Soto.
Juan Soto. Yeah, can't forget
Juan Soto. I
Juan.
about to say that was what that was
Jared
what
McCain. I worked with the
Jared
Thompson twins
McCain.
at a Curry camp. 2022. Um, Isaiah Collier, he's in the league now. Dang, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Steph Castle, my guy Steph. Shout
Yeah.
out Steph, man. Uh, shit, who else we got? I work with Ray Lewis, Bones
Ray Lewis.
Highland,
Bones Highland. Okay.
and probably a ton of other pro athletes. Like,
Yeah.
but you
The
get the
the list is so long,
yeah,
you
yeah.
get to forgetting people. You're like,
It's a lot.
so
Yeah,
okay.
it's a lot.
Tell me about this, right? So when you shooting these videos, right? In a
Mm-hmm.
sense, you get the raw, right? You get them as they're acting or like recording it. You get the raw, so you see all the takes, different takes, what they do. So what's one thing? Because when we see the product, we see the finished product, we see the commercial, we see the edit. We like, man, who did this? You thinking we would think, oh yeah, it's a one take thing. Whole time behind the scenes, you like, man, this take take 15, but
Yeah,
it still ain't do right. I'm just looking like, ah. So what's one thing that like you can say you've noticed working with those kind of athletes? Because the people we name, they ain't no scrubs. These
yeah,
are NBA, NFL, MLB, WNBA. You shout out my girl in the Boston Marathon. These are the top of the top athletes, and they're not always perfect. And
yeah.
you kind of get to see that by working with them. You get to see the behind the scenes. So tell me something that like that you realize working with those kind of athletes. behind the scenes.
The thing I truly realize over time is that this helps me, progress in my own life is that they're normal people. That's the I think that's the deepest. It sounds cliche, but that's the deepest realization. They cry, they shed tears, they shed blood.
Yeah.
Like life ain't perfect sometimes, but it's about. I think the biggest thing I've learned about having such a vast network of highly successful peers and athletes I've worked with is the mentality. Um, truly that next play mentality, but apply it to life. You know what I mean? Like truly focus on what you want to accomplish. I think that's the biggest thing, especially working with pro athletes versus someone out in the normal world or whatever. It's like
Mm,
the I don't want to call it a luxury, but specifically their task is to be the best athlete, essentially, and that's all they focus on. Like the obsession aspect of obviously be great people and stuff like that, but it's like that true dedication. That's the biggest difference I think I've seen. And just in front of the camera, like I said, they're normal people and stuff, but just
yeah.
they might be a little more media trained. Um, even me being a photographer, videographer, like getting more comfortable and being on camera is a different thing. You know what I mean? Like actual camera
Okay.
in your face is tough.
Yeah.
People don't understand. It's like so that's why people go through so many takes. And I've transitioned from shooting pro sports for like the first half. I mean shooting like on field, on court type of stuff to now it's like the auxiliary, it's shooting the pro athletes, but it's outside of like the actual game environment. So it's
Okay.
the off court stuff, it's community events, it's their lifestyle, it's everything else. So I really get to see like that personal aspect of it. And I believe that's really cool.
Yeah, and that's something that's become real popular. You got a lot of athletes. I think a couple of hours ago it was Julius Randle.
Yeah.
He has his own little YouTube documentary to where like you see on the court, but then you see off the court. You see how he's a dad, he's a husband, he's a son, he's
Hmm.
a big brother, he's a cousin. He's a totally different person than what you see on the court. And it kind of like you said, it humanizes them a little bit.
Yeah.
Like when you hear about these top people, you're like, man, they're here, but they also go here, and they
Yeah.
also go lower than there. So it's like, and you get to see that in the city, like you get to see off camera where we see the smiles and the edits, but you get to see like when they're here, when
Mm.
the film is going good, and when they don't take 30, they're like, man, to hell with this. I don't want to
Yeah.
do this no more. But
The
it's
ups,
like,
ups and downs. The ups and
yeah,
downs is real, man. It's like just that just that human aspect. Like it's interesting, you grow up watching sports and you see the media talk about people, you see Instagram, Twitter talk about people, but like it's crazy sometimes the scenarios where I'll be with a pro athlete and then they play a game. They might have a good game, a bad game, whatever. You go on Twitter, people are just talking positive, people talking crazy. And I'm like,
yeah,
this is a person. Like, I don't
yeah,
think people truly understand, like, regardless of whatever you think, like, this is a normal person. No superhuman stuff. Like, they do have emotions, not being
yeah,
on some soft stuff, but like,
yeah.
like it's a
They,
normal person. Like just because they're good at a sport, you know what I mean? Like that's the thing I've truly realized for sure.
yeah, because they see that every day. They're like, dang, what am I supposed to
What the
do?
heck? Yeah,
I sweated, I bled, I cried, I gave it my all. It's just
yeah,
the ball don't go in every time. I don't catch everybody. I don't make their perfect pass. I don't hit everybody. I don't throw every pitch is in the strike. So
facts.
it's like, hey, we still regular people. So we already got the list, right? You work through a plethora of athletes.
Hmm.
Who is that one athlete to where you worked with him and you was like, man, he's that guy. And like I said, we listed a lot of athletes. So you like, man, it's real different in these parts. Like you see him, but I see him and I see what he
Mm.
does or what he or she does and what it takes for he or she to get there and how they kind of sustain that.
Steph Curry, without a doubt. Being able to spend time with Steph, it's always a honor for sure. Shout out to everyone at Under Armour. Shout out to everyone at the Curry brand team that gives me the access to do so. And yeah, just Steph is taller than you think. I'm like 6'1", 6'2". Steph's about like 6'3" and some change. Rose
Yeah,
strong. Um, and just he'll do a drill constantly over and over. I think the consistency aspect of it, that's the crazy part about it. Like he'll get off a plane and then he'll go first thing to do is go work out, go get a quick 20, 30 minute lift in or 45-minute lift in, like something that's not light, you know what I mean? And it's like I really do see why people like that get the results that they get. And I think I said it earlier on, like being around that helps me approach life better. You know what I mean? Like I already have a high drive and high expectations for myself, but it's like you spend a couple of days with Steph and you like, damn, like I could really turn it up. You know what I mean? Like I could really do
Yeah.
that, apply myself more. And the last time, we just worked together was All Star Weekend. So it was from community events to, uh, shot and edited his party, just different things that we did, and it was I just think about if I want to progress and keep growing and stuff, like how to take care of my body and maintain if like you're gonna have a busy lifestyle like that and a busy schedule like that. Because you see somebody look like bro's schedule is crazy, but he's
Yeah.
like still down to earth, still gives everyone time and conversation, and I admire those things for sure.
Okay, so we're gonna take it back a little bit, right? You said you just switched. Well, not just. Well, you said you just switched from the
Oh,
Nixon to the
Nikon.
Sony camera.
Oh, this was back. This was like
Nikon.
this was 2020. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This was
Okay,
2020.
so you switched from the Nikon to the Sony camera. So right now, right, what would you say is your most important asset? Like when you're traveling, it's like some things you can leave. You can be like, okay, I could work around this. I could do without this.
Yeah,
But what's that one piece of equipment where you're like, nah?
I would
Before you
say
leave, it's like you double, triple, quadruple. You make sure that that's in the bag, and you make sure it's really close to you. So whenever you get to where you're going, you know for sure that that's
as crazy as it sounds, I would say the camera. The Besides the
there.
camera, like probably my mic for sure. Mic
Okay.
because I shoot a lot of video and that's essential for capturing great audio and stuff. So I would say my mic besides the camera for sure.
Okay. So we have a young, upcoming freelancer.
Hmm.
What would you tell them? They just starting. And they say they're on the same journey as you, right? I
Yeah,
got a camera. My mom, my dad helped me get a camera. I have the camera. What I do next? What do you tell them?
I would say experiment, try things out, but know what you want to do. I find that focus attention towards a certain direction over a sustained period of time, you'll get to the goal. Sometimes people keep changing the goalposts of what they want to achieve. Like say for photography, for example, sometimes people want to shoot, music, they want to shoot sports, or they want to shoot people or whatever. Like it's cool to be diverse, and I've shot all of it myself, and I still do.
Hmm.
But at the beginning, um, try to really see what interests you. And I think in terms of motivation, like shoot something that you enjoy seeing. You know what I mean? So if it's sports, you like being around sports, shoot sports. But like don't shoot baseball if you really think it's boring. Or
Yeah.
shoot basketball, shoot football. If you love baseball, go shoot it. You know what I mean? Go shoot soccer.
Yeah.
Like really seek out. I mean, I started off shooting high school, but like it's a guy named Ralph. He's based in PG. Like he's created a community of like toddler ball. So like I need to shoot
Mm.
basketball. And at the time his son was young, so he called it toddler ball. And so I shot little kids. You know what I mean? And it helps build your skill set across different things. Like for me, um, I shot sports, so like tracking subjects is really easy. Like build your skill set if how you think is gonna help you. Like if you think you're gonna go in like the film industry and stuff, then work on like your cinematography, your lighting, different lenses and stuff. But if you're shooting sports, then work on that specific skill set. So just have passion with it. That's one thing. Don't don't what's the best way to say it? Don't feel like anything's unachievable. That's the
Okay.
first. Don't feel like anything's unachievable. Like set your goal as high as possible. Um, look for people as inspiration, and then create your own style. And you'll get where you need to.
Okay. So when you first started, right? Like you
Mm,
said, social media wasn't nowhere near the way it was now. Like now it's you
robust.
have people you have people who make livings off
Yeah.
of not even like a camera that you have, but like off of iPhone
iPhone.
or
Yeah.
off of
This
Sony,
off of
whatever. Yeah,
Renaissance.
off of this. Like you have all kinds of these people make money and make a living. So what's one way? Well, what have you noticed from then and now? Not only about social media, but yourself as a freelancer. Like how has How have you evolved as a freelancer,
Mm-hmm.
and how has social media evolved and helped you evolve as well? Because if social media evolves, it gives you more opportunities, more things to trick around, mess around with. So I would just say all of that all tied into one.
Got you. So the first part in terms of social media, the biggest change I've noticed is that people like personalities more.
Mm-hmm.
So people are attached to personal brands of people. Yes, certain people grow because of their work, like their work is just that amazing. But people want to see the actual process of how it happened or what the person experience was like of shooting it or of being there. Like that's what people are interested in. I think that's the biggest change of social media before because before 2019, 2020, like you could post work and constantly just keep posting work and that's what interests people versus now it's like I want to see a face. I want to see who like is this person
Yeah,
work. Like are they cool or they not my type of
yeah,
person? Like that really determines a follow for sure. Um and then in terms of my growth, I would say I recognize that aspect of the shift between, people just wanting to see work to now people wanting to see personal branding and who you are as a person because I'm behind the camera, but I'm still me. You know what I mean? Like I
yeah.
still live life a certain way. I still, you know what I mean? Like see things different, have a good time, whatever. Um, so really putting myself out there more. I think that's the biggest
Okay.
change. Um, because you meet so many different people, you build so many different relationships, and the time you spend shooting, how we connected, like it's a very personal time. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
really are spending your days with people. Like I'm on the road more than I am home. And so yeah, just putting myself out there more and I would say my skill set has grown a lot for sure. Skill set has definitely grown to be able to create work for nearly any type of client. When I started out, it was very basketball oriented. It was just sports that I shot, and and I did
Yeah.
only on my page when you look at it only posted sports, but like since then I've probably done thousands of shoots. Um, So just being a well versed person, I would say I've grown a lot in that aspect for sure.
So when you first started, right?
Hmm.
Obviously now you're a freelancer. You worked with many brands. Has there ever been a time where you had to tell a brand no? And like you said, you talk about getting paid your rates because this is a topic we talked about. You was
Yeah.
like, yeah, when we charge, well, when I charge, when you charge, it was like, I'm not charging for my work. I'm charging for my time,
Hmm.
travel, uh, my time, the
Yeah, time,
quality,
everything.
the quality of the video, how fast I'm gonna get it back to you. So like when we had the conversation, I was like, I never thought about that. Like,
Mm,
yeah, they're paying for the product, but in the sense, when like you said, when you're traveling so much, you have to pay for my time. Like it's time that I'm doing here. I can be spending with my folks, or I can be
yeah,
just chilling. And now I'm spending with you. You got to pay for the quality because you give me poor quality money, you get poor quality results. You give me good
exactly.
quality money, you get great quality results.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So
literally.
like, has there been an experience where like everything was good, right? Everything was good, and you was just like, I can't take it. Like I want to take it. There's nothing wrong with it,
Yeah.
but I just can't do it.
So I would say, especially starting out, there's there's a way I kind of tried to approach it where let's say you have a rate, but it's opportunity. Let's say you have a rate and they meet that rate. Great. Let's say you have a rate and they pay more than that rate. Even better. But let's say you have a rate and someone says, "Hey, this is my budget," and it's below your rate essentially.
Yeah,
The way I look at it, of whether I say yes or no, even now to this day, almost is it a new opportunity for me, and will it open new doors? Like, is it a new realm that I'm in, or is it if it's the same realm that I'm in, then it's not worth getting underpaid because you see the value that I've created based on what I do. You're approaching
yeah,
me from my portfolio and you say, "Hey, this job is within your skill set, so this is what I want to pay you for." So it should be comparable for what you see. But if it's something new, if it's a new industry, then um, my advice to people like that, like if it's something you want to do and you find it fun and interesting, then go have the experience. Never let people take advantage of you. I think it's a clear line between you accepting, maybe a client's budget versus someone taking advantage. There's a very clear difference between
Yeah.
that. But yeah, that's kind of how I view it for sure. But yeah, I've definitely said no for sure. And over time, you outgrow clients, you outgrow different budgets, and for me, it was always about progression. And I'm super thankful for all the experiences, opportunities I've had, but uh, at a certain point, it becomes time management essentially.
So how do you outgrow a client? Because we talking about like if they're
Hmm.
um meeting your rate, you like okay, good. But it's like even though they're meeting your rate, everything is good. You kind of like getting past this certain
Yeah.
thing or this specific type of shooting. How do you do that? How do you per se outgrow a client if everything's still
Mhm.
going pretty well?
I mean, you got to feel it personally because some people feel comfortable, staying in a certain position for an extended period of time. For me, when I look at certain things, I'm like, how long have I been doing this, and do I want to continue doing it? Am I progressing? Am I growing? You got to keep growing because if you're not growing, then you're declining. Essentially. Um, but how you can outgrow a client is how to explain this. Cause it's an interesting aspect because someone's offering to give you money, and why would you say no and move on? But like I said, I think it becomes time management at a certain point. As you grow and progress, like I could refer to myself, um, someone's offering to pay more money, and it's a pro athlete, say instead of a high school athlete,
Hmm.
then that decides the opportunity. That
Yeah.
decides the direction I'm going to go. Versus, maybe I was doing high school sports for a long time. I'm like, hey, now it's time to grow and do something new. And over time, if that pro athlete client keeps booking you, then you may not have time for the high school athlete client anymore. So
Yeah.
it's never any love lost, but it happens sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, it's part of it. Like you said, once you uh, get better at your craft, the opportunities get to come in. So now you're like,
Yeah,
hey,
you gotta, you
I'm here
gotta,
now.
you gotta make decisions. You gotta make
I got
decisions,
to
and you
separate.
gotta,
Yeah.
you gotta claim your worth. You know what I mean? Like you gotta, because people will keep paying you whatever until you say something. Like being in business school, my parents always tell me to read negotiation books, and everything in business is negotiate. Like you got to be able to have that conversation and not be afraid to say certain numbers and really move with that confidence. Like if you've actually put the work in, you actually believe in your skill set, then you could say things confidently. If you don't think you're there yet, then the negotiation is going to be harder. But
So turn down clients, right?
mm-hmm,
Have you ever had to turn down a pro athlete and like you're like, okay, everything's good. Once again, everything's good.
mm-hmm,
But as a person, like you said, I'm not feeling it. Because if you don't enjoy doing it,
mm-hmm.
it's not going to be the best quality, the best content you put out. So talking about that, is it difficult? Like, how is that? Like when you get this big opportunity and you're like, I love it, I can't. And
Mm-hmm.
how do you go on? Like it's like at the end of the day, you're like, dang, I just passed up a perfect opportunity in a sense. But if I'm not happy, the
Yeah.
my client is going to be happy at the end because my content is the same.
I mean, the thing about it is one specific really scenario that's coming to my mind right now. It actually wasn't in sports; it was music. But
Okay.
the time frame of the project was too long, and it was going on tour, and it was going on a 3 month
Mm-hmm.
tour, and for me, 3 months that's a long time where a lot of new opportunities may come about. You cross over a lot of different sports seasons, and I believe my availability sometimes a superpower. Like I'm not available right now, and I go through periods like super booked, and then maybe more lighter or whatever. Um, but being locked up essentially for 3 months and not being able to say yes to anything else for me wasn't worth the number that they said.
Okay.
That was something that it was a cool opportunity, but it wasn't worth like it was something new as well. So that's why the
Okay.
decision was a little tough. But um, yeah, the number just didn't align with me saying no to the opportunity growth that came from 3 months.
Okay. So we're gonna go back to the court field diamond track. How you want to put it? So you've had the chance to work with these athletes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you can see how much work they put in, how much preparation they put in. you see why they are the way they are, why they make what they make, why they perform the way they perform.
Hmm.
What would be the difference in all of those athletes? Now, not specifically, but like from a NFL to NBA to MLB, track and field, WNBA. What would you say is like that's a difference? Like they're still putting in the same amount of work. Like it's real hard,
Hmm.
intense work, but it's a difference because our sports aren't the same. Our sports aren't created equal. Everybody isn't created equal. Everybody has their own God given abilities physically, mentally, whatnot. So what would you say is like, man, this is he does this over here, but over here it's totally different. And you're like, man, that's once again something that you can apply to your life or that you may have applied to your life.
Hmm. I would say definitely. So comparing athletes across different sports, I would say personalities are different for sure of how basically turned up somebody is. I mean, so
Yeah.
certain sports be a little more turned than everybody else. But I'd say I definitely see the difference between athletes in the same sport. That's where you see the division of okay, they might have the same physical attributes and whatever, but it's like how do they treat their body and their mind when they're not playing, when they're not on the field, not on the court. That's where I really see the difference between people for sure. Like what they
Okay,
do in their free time.
that's real. So okay, now my question is this. When you're working with athletes, right, you're behind the camera. You see what they can't see.
Hmm.
Has there ever been a time where you've had to like, in a sense, put your foot down? Like,
Yeah,
hey, okay, look, we need this. Can't accept nothing else. And like, how was that? Because like you said, you talking to some
yeah.
pretty big people, pretty high profile people, and to them, you're the guy behind the camera. And it's like when you first meet them, you're the guy behind the camera.
Hmm.
I'm the athlete. You record me, but like you're like, look, we can't keep doing this. We got to get it right. Tell me about that.
So the interesting thing about what I do, and I think this is a part of the industry that people don't fully understand, is like, at least from for me, regardless of who it is, like when I meet somebody, for the most part, like my camera might be rolling or not or whatever. Like I put my hand out and I say like, "Yo, what's good? Like, how you doing?" First
Yeah,
of all, you know what I mean. So I always try to build a connection first, so it's not like I find in terms of an athlete or a high profile athlete at that being more receptive. It all comes down to like, are you treating them like a person? Like I feel like that's truly why I've progressed so far in the industry is because I see everybody not equally, but equally. You know what I mean? Certain
yeah,
people just have accomplished different tasks than other people or have a better skill set and apply themselves in a different arena of life. But I have a conversation first, and that really does go far. You can see the difference of having a conversation first than being like, all right, like, I need this on camera. Tell me how your day was. They're
yeah,
100% open to it versus first 5 seconds, put a camera inside, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
chill, you know what I mean? Like, really cool. So I think for me, just I've built personal relationships and just by being myself. I could say that's definitely the biggest thing for sure.
Okay, so this is a question. You work with these athletes, you work with these big projects. Is it hard keeping it a secret? Because like at the end of the day, it's like, man, I'm working with Steph Curry. Like I'm here with Steph. I'm here with the greatest player to ever shoot basketball. To
Yeah.
physically, I'm here, but like I can't say nothing yet. I can't show nobody, like, your friends, your family. It's like you gotta keep it a secret. And it's like, is that hard? Like, because I know me personally. If I'm behind the scenes with Steph and I'm being with Steph, I'm like, man, I'm with Steph Curry, Steph
Yeah.
Curry, man. Me and Steph. But like in the sense you have to keep that a secret. Like there are some projects that take longer. So it's like you have to hold the secret for like an extended period of time. And you're like, man, I really want to say something. Like, you be around other people who talk about the athlete, and you're like, man, if only I knew what I had coming on with this particular athlete, you'd be like, ah man. So tell me. Tell me about that.
Do I call it consider it hard? No. I'll say
Okay.
that it's definitely maybe hard might be a word. I don't like looking at things as hard, but maybe just because like uh it's something I accept as part of the industry for sure. And I'll probably say 70% of my footage won't ever see the day of light. Like because
mm,
like the project got done, but the project maybe used 20 or 30% of the footage and the rest isn't like it's too secretive to even put out on your own portfolio, your own page, or to pitch it to other people. So like I've accepted that part of it, so it's not hard anymore. It's definitely a blessing. I'll say it's a blessing. Nothing's a curse. It's definitely a blessing, you know, being able to work with pro athletes, but like versus someone shooting live events where they could blast off 100 stories and it doesn't matter
Yeah.
because everyone it's 20,000 people in the crowd versus me shooting, you know, on a set or me shooting with an athlete 1-on-1 or me shooting with a team of people. It's like we have a specific initiative and yeah, it just can't go out. You know, it's one of those things where I've accepted that aspect of it. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's
So
real.
how did that feel? You just said like 70% of my footage won't see the light of day. Is that kind of like because like you have a lot of good things that people don't even get to see.
I
Like
mean,
we get to see what we see, but like it's a lot of things that you have. It's like man, I can't even do this. Can't even show this.
it's one of those things where considering that I wasn't a deeply creative person when I was younger, but you hear these different like little docu series and biops where it's like, this camera person got footage from the past 40 years. They got the deepest archives ever. Like, I truly do understand that, and I'm sure at some point, at a certain period of time, ESPN or whoever will come to me, or different brands will probably come to me at a certain point and be like, "Hey, we need some of this footage for this or that," and some of it may see the daylight, but certain things are just like personal conversations. You know what I mean? Like building these relationships. Some of these conversations turn it to like kicking it with the homies. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I'm just vlogging, end up kicking it and stuff, and it's like it gets sent to them, but everything's not for social media. I think that's the thing where you can have a camera, you can record, you can have something really specific you're using it for, but social media is to the world, and digital footprint is real. You know what I mean? Like that's
yeah.
definitely a real thing for sure.
So you talk about how things come back, right? Like
Mm.
certain things you use are things that people have used. They have the deepest archives, is what you said. I don't know, but like I'm with you because they just announced the release of Gilbert Arenas. I
Yeah.
can't think of the other guy that he had the gun incident with. And it's
Mm.
like, man, like I think that was like 2002.
Yeah.
Like
Back.
2002 is like 20 plus years ago, and there's footage that somebody recorded. Now it's brought to life, and now you're like, man, or like for example, The Last Dance.
Yeah. So much, bro. So
It's like
much.
it's
Like
like so much.
you get to
And
really see what was going on. It may
yeah,
take 30, 40 years until that process happens where it gets released, but what I mean? It's crazy. It's there.
yeah.
It's there for sure. It's there.
Yeah. So, okay, switching gears again. NFL draft is tomorrow, right?
So the draft, I think the draft is like Wednesday or Thursday, if I'm not mistaken.
Wednesday.
Yeah. Let me double check. So I gotta get on my P's and Q's. I just know I'm out there for draft festivities. And let me see. What time is draft night? I think that's the difference. Yeah, Thursday. Yep.
Thursday. Okay. So the draft coming up. When we first started, we talked about how Cam Ward, Matthew Golden, et cetera, et cetera.
Hmm.
How was that experience? This was just this past weekend, right?
Yeah, so it was over the course of a couple weeks. This past weekend was Matthew Golden and Nick Emenwari at
Okay.
South Carolina, but Cam Ward and the other guy was Luther Burden. We shot him about
Luther
what
Burden.
3 weeks ago or so. So it was like the week or two before it came to JSU.
So how was that experience working with those guys? Because these are guys who I would say getting life changing money, but
Hmm.
like with the NIL thing, they probably made life changing money, but it's nothing like professional life changing money.
Yeah.
So how was that experience? You get to work with those guys once again, raw. Like you see what we don't see. And Cam Ward is somebody who people say is nonchalant because where he played. Because there's like one
Yeah,
play that's
he is
viral.
nonchalant. I don't know
Yeah,
what.
it's like one play where he's viral where he's like in the pocket and he just standing still. He looking. And then he
Mm,
just dumped the ball. I mean, like, bro, nobody does that. Like, no
yeah,
quarterback is ever you're gonna catch a quarterback just standing still and he moving his head. Shout out to his old line first. That's
yeah, no facts.
confidence.
It was
But
really
it's like,
it worked on that one for real.
but it's like, how is that? Because like he's real nonchalant, but now you got to get him on camera, and
Mm,
obviously you want a little bit of
spice
something.
to it.
You
Yeah,
want something. You don't want that. So how do you how is working with somebody like that? Not specifically him, but somebody who's just
Yeah,
more reserved, laid back, and now you get him on camera, and you got to turn him up a little bit.
I mean, so the job of I'd say what I do is to make things look bigger than life essentially. And Cam Ward, he's a personality himself. He is super laid back. I will say that. Um, the one thing I've realized in camera work is you can't when something we trying to force like a personality on someone or force someone to do something like it'll look forced. So you
Mm,
almost have to go with their flow. It's like a dance in a way, it's like it's
yeah,
rhythm to it. It's some give and take in the process and stuff, and you understand like, you're not gonna get him just doing everything crazy. You know what I mean? He's not a super
yeah,
high strung guy. So it's we have certain things we have to check off 100%.
yeah,
But it's dealing with every personality different and just accepting the person as they are. You know what I mean? Like you get the stuff, you 100% get the tasks done, but it's like how can you work around their personality and still have a good time? And like anybody does, like you first meet them, but over time, they loosen up and
yeah,
become more receptive and stuff. So it was really cool, especially working with Cam. Potentially going to as a number one draft pick and
yeah,
understanding that this is the future of the NFL, possibly. Like
yeah,
that's a cool aspect. From working with pro athletes, but like this is somebody that's about to go right into the league in a couple weeks, and I was super thankful for the experience for sure.
yeah. Shout out Kim. Shout
Yeah,
out Shador. I know
yeah.
that's
Shout
not
out to
Under
the
Armour, but shout out Shador. That was my
yeah,
quarterback. I played with Shador.
hey
Caught a couple
man,
passes from Shador.
yeah,
Shout
facts.
out my dog. Shout out Milrow. I love Milrow. Shout out Dart. Because next year, around this time, I'm gonna be entering the draft, and I'm gonna.
Yeah,
So I'm trying to build me a good relationship. Hey Q's. You want somebody that's nice, sure-handed. You could come holler at me.
yeah. Sounds
Just tell me something. Yeah, nothing too crazy. Just holler at your boy. That's all. Just holler
facts.
at your boy. That's all. So okay, you was in Jackson. Did you come to Jackson the time before?
No, this was my first time.
Okay. So tell me about that. Once again, Kelsey, when we had Kelsey on, she was like, I loved it. She's like, I loved it. It was real.
Mm,
It was real different in a sense, but she was like, I just loved how genuine everybody was, authentic, hospitality.
mm.
Everybody was nice. She talked about how she seen a lady with Irv's shirt on. She's like, yeah, that must be Irv's mother. The whole time it's just a fan. It's just somebody who supports Jackson State, who supports Irv, who supports the team. And she just showed up with an Irv Mulligan shirt on. So tell me about that experience, because you was here, and like I said, that's when we met. That's when I actually seen this. For y'all don't know, Deezy had this on, and I was like, man, it looked, but it was hot. I was like,
Yeah,
man, is he not hot? Like I was
yeah.
looking at it, and then we talked, and I like kind of got up close. I was like, yo, this is fly, and it's soft, and it's light. I
It's
said, okay,
it's
now
cool.
we here, now we here. But tell me about your experience in Jackson, Mississippi.
Uh, very hospitable for sure. Just a great experience. Tons of culture. Shout out to you guys all around, from coaches to the team to the staff. Just opening up the access for us.
Yeah,
I think that was a really big thing, and it felt like home. Especially for my first time being there. It was cool seeing. I think how hard everyone was working. Uh, how the practices were run. You know what I mean? Like that was my first time shooting actually like a D1 football practice
okay,
and spring game and stuff. So it was like I understand how basketball world is and the different drills and stuff, but it's interesting to see how everyone broke apart and came together,
yeah,
broke apart again. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So
yeah,
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 but it was a lot of cool different aspects, and it was nice outside. It was
yeah,
great weather and stuff, and super thankful for that and stuff. And I made a lot of great connections. You know what I mean? That's why I'm here on the podcast now, and I
yeah,
always have a good time wherever I go. You know what I mean? Like always enjoy it, and connect with those around me and stuff. That's
yeah.
that's a really big thing.
I was finna say you had the chance to work with the coaches, um, Jeremiah Williams, defense MVP, Celebration Bowl,
Yeah.
Jacoby Morgan, offensive MVP of the Celebration Bowl. Now we talk about all these other athletes.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about them, because these are guys. Me and Jeremiah, we came to Jackson State together. Like we were freshmen together,
Mm-hmm.
2021 when Coach Prime first got here. Me and Jeremiah came in together, and now we're going to be both graduating and leaving together. So Jeremiah is somebody that I'm real close with. I know
Mm,
Jeremiah pretty well because like that's my dog. Kobe came in last year, right? What was it?
mm,
Yeah, he came in not this past year, but the previous year. He came in. He's from the area, and he's somebody that's like you can attest for it. He's real cool.
the real chill.
He's the total opposite. We talking about how Ken Ward is very nonchalant. Jacobian is very chillant. He's
Yeah,
real.
Sean. Yeah, that's a
He's real.
good.
He's the real opposite. So tell me about them two guys. Tell us about them two guys and how it was working with those guys.
Man, both of us, shout out to them. Super talented. I'll say that first of all. But just chill guys, man. Like they just wanted everyone around them to, especially the Under Armour team, to feel the culture. And they were mic'd up during practices. Just
Yeah,
really representing the school, representing the culture, and just having a good time.
yeah,
It was cool to see the different aspects of how they interact with the team, and just how the team just everyone in general interacted with each other. Just a great program in general, and hope the season is amazing.
yeah. Now I was gonna ask who was your favorite athlete you came across, but you're here, so we know the
Yeah.
answer. We know the answer. You ain't gotta say too
Hey.
much. We gonna keep what's understood and gotta be explained, but we know.
Fact.
That's why we're here. But okay, so you worked with all these great athletes. You've traveled. You've done all these things. What's next for Deezy? What's next for Mandel?
Yeah.
What's next for him? What's next? Like you've done a lot.
Hmm.
What's next? What do you want to do next? What's something that's like you would say you're working towards?
For me, I think continuing to expand my client base, continue to grow, just continue to grow as a person, continue to grow as a camera, everything I do from a camera aspect, photography, videography, continue to improve my knowledge. And I feel like as long as I approach everything with that growth mindset of, am I getting better? Am I, building stronger relationships? Am I improving my business? Am I improving my mind? Just how I see everything, then I'll be good. I think the interesting thing at this stage is I've checked off a lot of my initial goals. Even when I set new goals, like I continue to check them off. So
Okay.
I'm in the goal setting process right now of what I actually want to do next. But I would say I'm deeply loving what I'm doing right now. Um, I explained to you how I was shooting a lot of on-field, on-court stuff, and then transitioned to, I guess, the auxiliary aspect of a pro athlete and
Yeah.
brands and everything that a brand in itself and different brands have going on. So I'm really enjoying that for sure.
Okay. Well, maybe one of these days, come next year on this time, I'll be declaring. Maybe I can get my guy. We could come. We could make some stuff.
Yeah,
We could make
nah,
some
for
magic
sure.
happen.
For
We
sure. Hey,
can do
that's
some things.
nothing, bro. That's light. That's
I
light,
appreciate it.
man.
Before I let you go, I have a quote. Right. I want you to tell me where it come from. Right. You can even tell me where I heard it from.
Yeah.
And I want you to tell me how did you interpret it. Like, you ready? The quote is still like an artist.
Hmm. Who said? I think was it. It wasn't Picasso or some shit. Was it Basquiat. Who said? Was it him?
Yeah,
It was Basquiat. Yeah.
let's get it.
Is that how you pronounce his name? Basquiat.
I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name.
See, I'm into this art stuff. I ain't too deep into it. Don't art community, don't judge me and stuff. But I think that was his name. Yeah. I mean, it's true. How I interpret it, you see different aspects. Like nothing's new under the sun. Let's get
Yeah,
that. Let's get that straight for the first aspect. But you could see different things, and it's like I see other work and other techniques and just different things as like ingredients. Like you could take different aspects of it and make your own meal, and you might want to like use a little more pepper or use a little more salt. Like you might be able to implement it in a different way for sure,
yeah,
but it's okay to recognize sometimes where original inspiration comes from, and also accept when things do come from an original aspect for sure. Like there are things that I do and moments that I capture and things like that where it's like I feel like it's original to me because I didn't see it from anywhere else and I'm just doing it in the moment. So definitely accept when you have inspiration, but also lean into yourself. You know what I mean? Like if you have
Yeah.
original idea or, original thought, like trust that it's original for sure.
Okay. Now, one more before I let you
Now you're good, bro. I'm
go.
good. You're good on time.
Before we talked about when we had our conversation off camera, you talked about being delusional.
Yeah.
It was like you have to, in a sense, be so delusional that you're gonna make it, that you're gonna win, that eventually it happens. It
Mm,
works out for you. Talk to me about that, because that's something that when we talked about, there's probably the thing that stuck with me the most. Because
mm,
it's like being delusional. Like you have to envision it, you have to imagine it, you have to believe that it's attainable to where eventually
yeah.
you're gonna find yourself exactly where you want to be at.
I mean, I always heard it. You always hear it from really successful people, and then I think I started applying it to myself. I read, a couple books. I, lived some life, and eventually it comes a point where you want to do more. And I remember just setting really big goals. Like you have to set really big goals because it's like even now, I think I have big goals set, and I'll look at my goal list for the day or the week or the month or the year, whatever. I'm saying like, am I thinking big enough? Like I ask myself that all the time. Like whatever I'm doing, like, am I thinking big enough? Because wherever you set your goal at, like you're gonna reach it. Like, I
Yeah,
promise, as long as you consistently keep striving after it, you're gonna reach it. But you have to. There's a quote. I'm trying to think how to say this. Like you have to almost, you talk about that delusion, like you have to almost not ignore what's in front of you or what you're experiencing, but like this sounds so wild. Like just you have to like see what you want to see almost in a way. Like you have to act as if like I didn't know I was gonna become one of these people, but like
yeah,
you have to really take on the aspect of what you want to achieve. So like if you think is these certain characteristics or criteria of that person or that goal, that whatever realm it is, like you
yeah.
have to really live
You
that.
got to do it. Like
You really gotta live,
you
bro.
can't be delusional without the action behind being delusional.
You
You
have to
can't be
set really
delusional. You see,
action
yeah,
is action is the other aspect of it. People talk about prayer or manifesting, like set the intention and then work as hard as possible after it, and then you'll get the support from yourself or whatever you believe in from it. You know what I mean? 100%. And um yeah, just I journal a lot. And I journal how my day was. Then I'll journal like what I really want to achieve, what I really want to experience. And it's crazy looking back at some journals and it's like I'm in the moment actually experiencing it now. I think
yeah.
that's the wildest thing for sure.
And that's another thing, right? You talked about how it is when you're always traveling, you're always doing this, you're doing that.
Hmm.
But that little bit of time, like right now, right? You get this little bit of time, this little break to yourself. How do you kind of center yourself? Like you say, you journal. Um, like what else do you do to kind of get yourself whole? To be like, okay, I'm relaxed, I'm good, back on the road, back to it. Let's get it.
Meditate,
What's
meditate,
meditate? Okay,
spend time with my family. I work out. Um, just clean your space. You know what I mean? Like really spend some time outside, go touch some grass. I always tell everyone around me, like, that's a real analogy, bro. Like, when was the last time you went and hugged a tree? Like, go walk outside with some grass.
yeah,
Like really feel, because you can experience so much on social media. If you scroll for 10 minutes, you're experiencing hundreds of people's lives all at one time. If you walk outside, you're gonna see a couple birds flying around, maybe some cars pass by, whatever. Like, go outside and really see what the real world is like, and then
yeah.
decide what you want to do. I think that's a really big thing.
I think I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I think tomorrow I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go hug a tree.
Yeah, bro.
Just be like, why not? Like,
Take off your socks. Go walk outside. Walk out. See how grass feel on your feet, bro. Like really
yeah,
be human again. You know what I mean? That's
just
important.
relax. I know I said last time.
No, you
Last time,
good, bro.
I'm dumb athlete. You worked with Brandon Jennings. I don't know if you can see it. Brandon Jennings been in the media a lot. But
Yeah.
he said that with Jeff T, Ty Lawson, Pat Bev, uh, Lou Williams,
Facts.
one-on-one happening, right? Well, let's say they all hooping together, right? Right now, we're not talking about DJ they had 55 in Milwaukee. Right now, who are you taking? I
Man, my
said,
guy Brandon Jennings all day, every day, man. Yo, bro, shout out to you, man. Shout out Tough Crowd. That's my guy, man. That's my guy.
yeah.
24/7 all day long, bro. You can still put in somewhere. I don't care what anybody say, bro. Like, shout out my guy, man.
Shout out DJ.
You gotta stick
Well,
by your
man.
peoples.
Well, man, look, BJ, I'm with you. You know, tough crowd. You know, look,
Well,
yeah. You know, so if you want to hire me, BJ, hire me, hire me.
I,
But nah, my dog, he said he working with BJ, so we're gonna leave it at that. Well, DJ, you don't understand. Truly, truly appreciate you. I met you 2 weeks ago.
yeah,
2 weeks ago, we had a great conversation. I'm glad to get you on the pod. Like we said, this is the first one.
yeah, sir.
This is the first. This is the very first one.
Very
So
first one is crazy.
I get the privilege to say I was Deezy's first one. You can always be next. For now, any other podcast you go on, they can always be next.
Always
They
next, dog.
they'll never, never be first. So once again, thank you so much.
For sure.
Uh, I just said follow on Instagram. What you got? Instagram? I
Yeah,
know it's
yeah.
Deezy. Yeah, talk to the
Deezy
people.
Photos, so DEZY Photos on Instagram. That's the main platform I use right now. And thankful for everyone that's helped me, get to this point, bro. Shout out to you. Shout out my parents, shout out my younger brother. I'm shouting everybody out, man.
Yeah.
Shout out Coach Mookie, shout out Jared, shout out, Chris Hannigan, shout out Candace Cooper, shout out Kelsey, shout out my guy Nana, shout out so many people, man. Just
Yeah.
shout out so many people in this process. Shout out all the athletes I've worked with. It's definitely been a journey for sure, and I'm super thankful for it.
Like you said, DEZY photos on Instagram.
Yep, D2EZY photos on Instagram.
Yeah.
That's it right there. Shout out my guy Trey. Shout out my guy
Jay.
Trey Evans. Yep. Shout out my guy Trey Evans. Shout out Trevin. I'm shouting everybody out. Whatever.
Shout it out, man. This is your time.
Yeah, nah.
It's here for you, baby.
The crazy thing about it, bro, is like I've crossed over so many different realms where it's like from basketball to football to all these different sports. So it's you cross over people in these different bubbles where it's like they're the behemoth in the bubble that controls so much, and it's like they've helped me progress for sure.
That's real. Like I said, shout out my dog Deezy for coming on. Y'all don't understand how much I appreciate it. Deezy photos on Instagram. Check them out. Great work. Not good work. Great work. I got the privilege to see it up close, see you. I was looking, but you was moving so much around.
Real. It's real. It's no secret behind it, but I had a click just like everybody else. You know what I mean? Like the work changed over time, but I still got a click, man.
So yeah, shout out to you, my dog. Shout out to Kelsey. Kelsey, her taking a trip to Jackson.
Yeah.
Is what led me to meet her, and what led me to meet you, and what led all of us to meet each other. So
it's all meant to be, bro.
It's all meant to be. Shout out to you for this. You put me on.
Yes, sir.
I got something dropping. Today's what? Why are they showing up on my phone? What is today's date?
Say the 21st. It's
21st.
Yeah.
So the 21st, I got some little mini vlogs dropping. So shout out to Under Armour too.
Yeah, shout out UA for sure. Shout out Under Armour 100%, man.
But yeah, if UA I want to, send me some more stuff, I could
send my guy somewhere, you know what I mean?
Yeah. See these here? When I tell you these has been the shoe. I love this shoe. As soon as I got it, I tried it on. I said I have to wear it everywhere I go. So UA
I'm looking for a podcast sponsor, yes sir.
Come on, man, come on! I'm trying to get it going, man. Kelsey, you can put the word in, roll the dice, help me out, baby. But then, like I said, shout out to Deezy, man. I appreciate you. Follow him on Instagram. He said Instagram is his main platform. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe here.
What's your platform? Where can everyone find your stuff and everything?
Well, you can find me. I'm on all social medias at Jency Riley Jr. It's my first and last name. Keep it real simple, so it ain't hard to find me. I'm not Sniper Boy J. I'm not 4K Jency Riley Jr. It's real simple. You need to find me first and last name. YouTube. It's the Life of Riley podcast, but if you look it up, you look up Jency Riley Jr. Real simple. Uh, Shout out to Kobe and Kobe.
Yeah,
Kobe
shout out
Paul
to
and
them guys,
Jacoby.
man. Shout
They
out to them
started their
guys. Yeah.
podcast. They just dropped the episode today with Coach TC. Shout out to them. Shout out to We Know Ball podcast. That's
Yeah.
me, Dez, and Amari. We gonna start our own thing,
Yes,
but I'm
sir.
gonna still do this. This ain't going nowhere. This is, like you said, this is something I started from the ground up. You know, like I woke up one day, I had my laptop, sure, I had YouTube. I said, well, let's
Yeah.
live button. I said, I press the live button, and it's been like, I think it's been about a year.
Oh wow.
Dang, it's been about a full year since I started it. Once, like you said, I see the growth. I see the
Yeah.
growth. I've experienced it. I love it. Can't wait. Speedy more when I'm coming for you. You next. Speedy more. I'm telling you this right now. Whenever you see this, I'm coming for you next.
You're gonna get,
Stephen A.
bro.
Smith,
That's light.
Shannon.
Like,
I'm coming for everybody. Anybody that got it, I'm coming for. But once again, like I said, shout out my guy Deezy. I appreciate you. Follow him on social media. And yeah, that's it.
appreciate everybody, man.